Shalawama, I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Be with everybody in just a moment. Wait for the others, or we'll wait to see if the others are going to come into the live stream broadcast. If you want to come in, the link is in the comment section. Okay. Okay, let's give it a few minutes and we'll get started. All right, excellent. Shalawama, Candace, how are you? Candace, Shalawama, how are you?
Shalom, Dr. Yasapa.
Shalawama, Candace, let's give it a minute to see if anybody else is going to come in. We're live, by the way. We're live on YouTube right now.
Yes. I'm going to let you know I'm going to be listening. I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're Shalom.
It's okay. Okay, feel free to participate when we get started, okay? If you like, you can participate. Okay. Let's see. I'm sending messages to the other people who said that they want to participate. Okay, one person said that they're coming in.
It seems like a feedback or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, you have to mute your sound on the YouTube channel. Like you see.
Oh, you know what? I think maybe I'm picking up YouTube and Facebook. Let me see something. Let me shut this off.
So the video that you're watching now?
Yes. Yeah, I shut off the YouTube and I'm going to Facebook. I'm just going to be listening because I have things going on today, but thank you.
Okay, sure. So let's see who else wanted to come in. Oh, I remember. Give me 1 second. I have to, or maybe it's better to call it. Shalawama, we're going to get started. I'm just reaching out to a few more people. Just reaching out to a few more people to see if they still want to come in. And then after that, we'll get started.
Shalom.
Shalawama.
How are you doing?
Nice to have you back again.
Well, I never left really, but you know.
Candace, meet Linda. Oh, by the way, Linda, we're live.
Okay.
We're live on YouTube. Yeah. Candace, meet Linda.
Hello, Shalom.
Shalom, Linda. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
We have a really nice group this time, Linda.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So give me 1 second. There's a mosquito in here. He got in here somehow, and he's driving me nuts, and I haven't been able to kill him yet. I've been chasing this mosquito all day and he keeps getting away. Let me see.
Okay, I'm gonna mostly be on mute because I'm actually driving.
Okay, okay, okay. So I got to call one more person and then we should be ready. Another person is about to come in also. Let me make sure she already. Yeah, one more person is coming in and I need to just reach out to one other person and then we can get going. So I found a papal bull and I didn't read through the whole thing, but I read through one paragraph and it seems like something worth going through. So we're going to go through it, but I've never heard of this papal bull before and I didn't want to read through it by myself because I wanted it to be spontaneous. Well, yes, I'm here. Do you see me? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to find this person's phone number. As a matter of fact, you know what I need to do? I need to send someone a link. Let me see. I have to send this link. Let me try it this way. Let's see. Okay, so just one more now. Okay. Oh, here we are. All right. Okay. I'm going to mute my microphone for 1 second. So y'all give me a minute. Shalom, Judea. I'll be with you guys in one moment, okay? I'm reaching out to one more person. And then I'll be finished. As I promised, I would let this person know. And it's kind of taking a long time to get their info. So 1 minute, please. Shalom, Judea. I'll be with you guys in one moment, okay? I'm reaching out to one more person. You guys mute your sound or your microphone on the browser. please. Okay, one moment. Almost ready. Oops. Let's see. Do it again. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right, I'm done. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, there we are. Done. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me pull up the website and we can begin. Okay. Let's see, what's the Pope's name on this video? What's the Pope's name? Does anyone see the date? Oh, 1537. Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Shalom, Judaiah.
Shalom.
37. Okay. Okay, so I think I found it. All right. So here we are. Let's get going. Okay. One moment. Okay. Oh, by the way, Linda, meet Judaiah.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great.
Okay, so Candace and Linda are preoccupied. Are you, Candace and Linda, are you all able to comment, or do you just want to listen?
I'm just gonna listen because I'm actually driving.
Okay, I think it's the same with I think Candace is also busy. So give me 1 second, one more person. All right. So that's done. Okay, so this is Shalom, everyone. Let me turn my camera on. I'm gonna edit the video. So hold on. I'm gonna edit this part out, but let me turn my camera on. So everybody can see who's, man, I'm gonna get this mosquito. He's driving me nuts, y'all.
It gets better.
I haven't been able to catch this mosquito. All day he's been biting me.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe your technique is off. You got to go before it. So when it flies, you got to have the hand before it to catch it. Yeah.
Usually I'm pretty good with getting them, but this one I haven't been able. But I'm gonna I gotta change this background. The clouds, I think. So anyway, I'm gonna edit the first part of this video out so we get started now. All right, so Shalom, I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. We're going to discuss another papal bull. This is something that a papal bull that I'm not aware of. It's my first time seeing it. And I read one paragraph of it and it was very interesting. So this is going to be spontaneous. I don't know what's in this papal bull, but when you see it and you see the title, you'll understand why we are exploring it. Okay, so I have with me now Judaiah, Candace, and Linda. So, Judaiah, are you ready to get started?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's do it like we did last time. I'm gonna turn my camera off so I can focus, and I'm gonna share the screen now. Okay, so here we are. Let's keep going. We're on the website, the same website before. This is Papal Encyclicals Online, your guide to online papal and other official documents of the Catholic Church. Okay, so this papal bull, this papal bull is Sublimus Die. What is this? What does this mean in English? Let's check that out first. What is this Latin meaning in English? Let's see. Okay, so it says the sublime capital God, erroneously cited as Sublimus Die or Day, and occasionally as sic dilexic, is a papal bull promulgated by Pope Paul III. All right, so now we know what that is. Okay, so Sublimus Dei or Die, on the enslavement and evangelization of Indians. Okay, this was led by Pope Paul III in the year 1537. Pope Paul III, the topic is the enslavement and evangelization of Indians to all faithful Christians. Okay, to all faithful Christians to whom this writing may come, health in the Christ, our capital Lord, and the apostolic benediction. Okay, so I guess I'll read the first paragraph. So anybody feel free to enter the live broadcast. If you want to come in, you can comment, you can participate, share in the reading, anything you want. This is an open forum. So for everyone who's already here, if you have a question or comment, just say it even while I'm reading. You'll notice that the reading of this can be kind of complicated. So if you have a question or comment, go ahead and say it, and we can just do it very spontaneously and make it enjoyable. Okay, so here we go with the first paragraph. The sublime, capital God, so loved the human race that he created man in such wise that he might participate not only in the good that other creatures enjoy, but endowed him with capacity to attain to the inaccessible and invisible supreme good and behold it face to face. And since man, according to the testimony of the sacred scriptures, has been created to enjoy eternal life and happiness, which none may obtain save through faith in our capital LORDJC. Okay. It is necessary that he should possess the nature and faculties enabling him to receive that faith, and that whoever is thus endowed should be capable of receiving that same faith. Nor is it credible that anyone should possess so little understanding as to desire the faith and yet be destitute of the most necessary faculty to enable him to receive it. Hence the Christ, who is the truth itself, that has never failed and can never fail, said to the preachers of the faith whom he chose for that office, go ye and teach all nations. He said all, without exception, for all are capable of receiving the doctrines of the faith. Anybody have any comments they want to make about this first paragraph? It's silent. Well, I find this very interesting that they said, so their deity so loved the human race.
Uh-huh.
So who are they including in the human race? When we think about Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, those are two different creation stories. And remember, for those of you who watched the Genesis chapter 1 video, that is a different creature. That is a created creature, okay, and not by the Most High. A genetically engineered creature, as distinct from what the man and the woman who were created in chapter 2 of Genesis, okay? So they are different. So in chapter 1, the created creature, or the genetically engineered hybrid creature, was told to have domination and subdue all flesh on the earth. If y'all remember that, right? Somewhere
Yes.
around Genesis chapter 1, 23 through 27, one of those verses around there. Have dominion, have superiority, put them in subjection, right, over all flesh on the earth. So it stands to reason that all, of course, is the whole, right? All is the whole. For example, there is no such thing as a portion missing if you're talking about the all, right? It's all flesh. So this is why in Genesis chapter 1, they discuss cattle, which in later years was referred to as chattel, right? So when it refers to the created man and woman in Genesis chapter 2, the forced labor position or situation that the created creature in chapter 1 put us in. In other words, you have the hybrids in chapter 1, and then you have the autochthonous people, or the people who were made from the soil by the Most High in chapter 2. They put us in forced servitude, right? So now,
Yes.
so now we have a situation where in chapter 1, the Elohim, if you will, right? That's what the deity is called. Had given that created creature orders to have all flesh in subjection, have supremacy over it, right? Subdue it, have mastery over it. Okay. So what is the human race being referred to here, right? For example, if this deity loved us so much, would he put us in the situation we're in, right, as an expression of love? Or are they acknowledging that they see us as being chattel or cattle, right? Everybody see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just run through this again. He created man in such wise that he might participate. See, which creation story? Genesis chapter 1 or Genesis chapter 2? Or are they saying both, right? I think this is only referring to one. He created man in such wise that he might participate not only in the good that other creatures enjoy, but endowed him with capacity to attain inaccessible and invisible supreme good, and behold it face to face. Y'all see what I'm trying to say here?
Yes. It's really hard to distinguish which one, because you have them interchanging human race and then man. which is what the Most High created, was man. So it's hard to distinguish which one they're actually referring to, unless you do the etymology and stuff that on God, which would give you a distinction. So now within the contents, we have to determine exactly which one they're referring to.
Okay, thank you. And notice this next sentence. Well, the next part of the sentence, rather. And since man, according to the testimony of the sacred scriptures, has been created to enjoy eternal life and happiness. See, how could what they're doing result in us enjoying eternal life and happiness? Right? Remember the first three papal bulls that we went through, right? They're supposed to go rob us, kill us, rape us, take everything, and put us in slavery. So how is that happiness for us, right? Okay, so let's continue. Which none may obtain save through faith in JC. Okay. It is necessary that he should possess the nature. Okay, the nature. That's the character, right? And faculties, these are the mental abilities. So the character, the inward motivation or drive, and the mental capacities, enabling him to receive that faith. Okay. And that whoever is thus endowed, see, whoever, why isn't it everyone? Whoever is thus endowed should be capable of receiving said faith. This is very interesting. Me, myself, I'm correlating this with Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2.
Right.
Lord,
and then also with the word capital God, because we know that it was not part of the Hebrew language.
Right, that's right.
So it wasn't part of it. So just from knowing that much, we would say that it's referring to the ones in Genesis 1, as opposed to the ones that are in Genesis 2.
Okay, so let's, I think this last part is significant also. It says, hence the Christ, who is the truth itself, that has never failed and can never fail, said to the preachers of the faith whom he chose for that office, go ye and teach all nations. He said all without exception, for all are capable of receiving the doctrines of faith. Wow, what are these doctrines of faith? let's look at this. Okay, so Jediah, let's go into the next paragraph. Your turn.
Okay. The enemy of the human race, who opposed all good deeds in order to bring men to destruction, beholding and envying these, invented and means never before heard of, by which he might hinder the preaching of the capital God's word of salvation to the people. He inspired his satellite, satellites, who, to please him, I'm not sure what that's saying, but anyway, have not hesitated to publish abroad that the Indians of the West and the South and other people of whom we have recent knowledge should be treated as dumb brutes created for our service, but pretending that they are incapable of receiving the Catholic faith.
Okay, any comments, anybody?
That sounds like Genesis chapter 1, go and subdue. That's what that sounds like. That's what I'm correlating it to.
Okay.
It should be treated as dumb brutes created for our service, pretending that they're incapable of receiving the Catholic faith. That's, pretending that they are incapable of receiving it.
So what are your thoughts about pretending, or what's significant if they're pretending or if they're not pretending?
Because they're justifying they're justifying their treatment
Mhm.
of the Indians by pretending that they're incapable, so that they have no guilt in subduing them, enslaving them.
So that would be an instance where they're looking at us as being chattel, right, or cattle.
Absolutely.
Genesis chapter 1.
Other than you men.
Mhm.
Yes. So in this paragraph here, it mentioned that if they have the faculty, the mental faculty, right, you can force the doctrine on them, right? It says those who have the nature and faculties enabling him to receive that faith. So in this case, I'm wondering if they say, oh, they're pretending that they don't have the faculties, the mental capability to receive the faith. Y'all see what I'm saying? But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see as we go through the paragraphs.
Which would when okay, so that part when they're saying they're pretending, that would give them the excuse to genocide, right?
Right.
Right. That would, yeah, the genocide and the whole Genesis chapter 1. Remember, supremacy, that goes into white supremacy, right? So the next paragraph, I guess, is mine. We who, though unworthy, exercise on earth the power of our capital Lord, and seek with all our might to bring those sheep of his flock who are outside into the fold committed to our charge, consider, however, that the Indians are truly men, and that they are not only capable of understanding the Catholic faith, but according to our information, they desire exceedingly to receive it. Yes, that's what's happening. So someone made an argument, hey, that these people are brute beasts. The Catholic Church is saying, well, no. They might be brute beasts, but they have enough faculty to justify us putting them in slavery and taking everything that they have. Y'all see it? And you don't have to agree with me. This is a discussion, but that's the way I'm understanding this. The Catholic Church is saying, whoa. These Indians, they can't understand, and we're going to make them Christians, and we're going to take everything they got. And in the end, they're going to lose their sense and knowledge of who they are, their heritage, their culture, their language. We're going to take it all away from them. And then their babies are going to be worshiping the Christ figure, working on behalf of the Catholic Church to enrich them and better them. And they're going to have no sense of self, right? And they're going to be totally disconnected from nature, totally disconnected from who they are. And they're going to be like farm animals. That's the way I'm understanding it.
Yes.
Okay. So in other words, the Christianity, including Islam, which is only a section of Christianity, it originated as a section of Christ or a branch of Christianity. These religions are intended, according to the papal bulls that we read, they are intended to disconnect the people from nature, to disconnect the people from their lands, their possessions, and to convert them into slaves using religion as a form of mind control. So those people in the audience, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, or if this makes you feel uncomfortable, go back and watch the previous videos that I've done on these papal bulls, and then you'll have a very good understanding of what this papal bull is talking about and what we're talking about now. Okay, so let's continue. Desiring to provide ample remedy for these evils, we define and declare by these our letters and by any translation thereof, signed by any notary public, and sealed with the seal of any ecclesiastical dignitary, to which the same credit shall be given as to the originals, that notwithstanding whatever may have been or may be said to the contrary, the said Indians and all other people who may later be discovered by Christians are by no means to be deprived of their liberty or possessions or of their property. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Even though they be outside of the faith of JC, and that they may and should freely and legitimately enjoy their liberty and the possession of their property, nor should they in any way enslave should the contrary happen. It shall be null and have no effect. Let me see if I understand what I just read. Judea, have you ever heard of this?
Scrambled like that? No. You know, reading a document that's like trying to confuse you, you know, saying one thing and meaning another. No.
Right.
Desiring to provide ample remedy for these evils. Okay, that's clear. We define and declare by these our letters. We can skip all of this because it doesn't matter, right? They're just talking about a certified official letter. Okay, copies are the same as the originals. That notwithstanding, whatever may have been. Let's look up notwithstanding. Judea,
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
You remember? Let's see. Okay. Let's get the legal meaning of notwithstanding. I left it. So let's see.
You know, effects.
Okay. Okay, it means creating exceptions to the rule of a contract. It also means despite, in spite of, even if, with regard to, however, in any, okay, so legal use, creating exceptions to the rule of a contract. Okay, so creating exception to the rules of this contract, whatever may have been or may be said to the contrary, the said Indians and all other people who may later be discovered by Christians are by no means to be deprived of their liberty or possessions of their property, even though they be outside of the faith of Jesus Christ. So this is saying that they're not intelligent, right? Enough to be able to accept the faith, and that they may and should freely and legitimately enjoy their liberty and the possessions of their property, nor should they be in any way enslaved should the contrary happen, right? Or in other words, if they are enslaved, it should be null and void and have no effect. I wonder what paper, so that must be, there has to be another papal bull reversing this. But I'm searching all papal bulls. I'm searching all, and I'll find it. Because they called us Indians. Or you know what, maybe that's what it is.
But of course we're not Indians.
Who is apostolic? Well, of course we're not, but they may have been called. So in other words, who are the Indians referred to in this papal bull?
Those are the Aboriginal indigenous people of this land, which are the Moors, because this was the Moorish dominion.
Right, but who are these Indians specifically? You know what I mean? Are they talking about Moors? Because this totally contradicts the last.
They're talking about Moors.
And what was the last? We did the last. We did unum sanctum. We did intercertor. Oh, what is it? Let me see. Let's see.
Satira.
Right. Inter satira, unum sanctum. There was another one, right?
yeah, what was it?
So I wonder why I've never heard the bull before. Okay, so Inter Cetera, Romanus Pontifex, and
Mhm,
Unum Sanctum. All of these are talking about enslaving us.
mhm,
Okay, they refer to us as Saracens and other indigenous people. And we
mhm,
know that they're talking about us. You mentioned Grenada.
right.
Okay, then they also give the borders of the lands that they were talking about. That
Mhm,
was in the Inter-Certaria rather. Okay, so now let's go
mhm.
back here. So who are these Indians? That's what we have to find out. So let's read this next paragraph.
See, first of all, that word is a misnomer, because in order for you to be in India, you would have to be in India, and this is not India.
Okay, so let's look at a map. Well, no. It wouldn't matter where India is, right? Because we know what territory we're dealing with.
Mhm.
This is crazy. What year is this? 1537.
Mhm.
The enslavement and evangelization. Oh, you know what? So after we do this, let's see what if we can find some commentary on this. Okay, by virtue of our apostolic authority, we define and declare by these present letters, or by any translation thereof, signed by any notary public and sealed with the seal of any ecclesiastical dignitary, which shall thus command the same obedience as the originals, that the said Indians and other peoples should be converted to the faith of JC by preaching the word of the capital God and by the example of good and holy. This is crazy. Now, this is saying that they should be converted. Do y'all see
Yeah.
that? Do you see that, Linda?
I see
Now-
confusion. I see confusion and contradiction. Isn't that how
Exactly.
they operate?
Yes.
So let's see if we can find some commentary, okay? Let's see if we can find commentary. What does this say? Indian country today. Let's see what they have to say. See how are they explaining this. Okay, so this is from IndianCountryToday.com website. The article is on Papal Bull Sublimus Deus. In 1537, Pope Paul III issued the Papal Bull Sublimus Deus. The Pope did so after being particularly influenced by a priest named Antonio Montesinos, who traveled to Rome from the island of Hispaniola. Isn't that Haiti?
Oh, wow, it is.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
To argue against the horrific treatment of the Indian. Well, there you go.
That
This
makes
is
sense.
the answer. So Montesinos did so on behalf of his particular priest, a group of priests from the Dominican order in Hispaniola, which is Haiti. The Catholic Church has been saying for quite a few years now that the document Sublimus Deus served to correct a number of papal documents of subjugation and colonization that were issued by Pope Alexander IV in 1493. Well, we all know that that's not true, because you see these documents being used by European kings, right, during the Middle Ages, and then by the US government with its Manifest Destiny doctrine,
Mhm.
all based here. And then in the early 1900s, we see the secret treaty of Verona. Okay, we see the secret treaty of Verona, which outlines the relationship. It basically summarizes the relationship between the Pope and the kings Okay, and the role of the Pope and the role of the kings. Is that correct, Judah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So now this is very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look how they try to wipe their face clean.
Yeah.
Oh, a narcissist. The church is taking this position because the papal document Sublimus Deus said that the Indians are to be regarded as truly human. Evidently, they were not regarded as human before that, so we were right. The document Sublimus Deus also said that, I wish people would read this. The Catholic Church, and remember in the last papal bull, intercert, what is it you died?
Katera.
Intercetera
Katera.
talked about all of Christendom. All is the whole of Christendom. All faiths, all organizations that profess Christianity. That would mean what? Everybody calling on the Christ figure, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, this is showing us that they did not consider indigenous people, including the House of Yasharallah and Moors, to be human.
Mm-hmm.
So again, religious people, how can you continue in Christianity or the Muslim religion? How can you, right? Use your brain. And if you can't see it, it's because you've been detached from nature and you've been detached from who you actually are. And your efforts and energy are going toward furthering the agenda of your religion, which is in essence Catholicism, right? Instead of doing what's right and best for you and your family and your nation and reconnecting to nature, right? Preserving your physical body and a healthy mind. Anyway, let's continue. The document Sublimus Deus also said that that Indian nations were not to be deprived of their liberty or property. There is, however, two problems with the Catholic Church's contemporary. So this is a contemporary argument about the bull Sublimus Deus. This is, in other words, they weren't saying this at the time this bull was issued.
Exactly.
This is new. This is a new argument. They're trying to wipe their face, save face. First of all, as a result of political pressure from Emperor Charles V, who had all copies of the document retrieved and returned to Spain, Pope Paul III later removed all ecclesiastical penalties, interdict and excommunication. So the penalties were interdict and excommunication for any violation of the terms of the document Sublimus Deus. So isn't this something how they still do this kind of stuff today, don't they? They'll issue a statute or something at the federal or state level, and then they don't give it any teeth. And
they won't give it any teeth unless you are aware that it has teeth.
Right. Or they don't enforce it, yes.
Unless you bring it to them in document form, in contract form, then they have to obey it. They have to obey it because it's in contract. So, but most people don't even know that they have documents out there that protects them, but only if they know it. Because if you go and you look at international law, they'll tell you, yeah, we will like uphold it if it's brought to us. We're not going to self-execute. That's what it says. We will not self-execute. So you have to know what your rights and things are in order for them to exercise them.
Right. Meaning you have to know your birthright, and that's why they took it. That's why they took it from you.
Right.
So that you don't know.
Right. And that's what right now with anything. If you don't know what your rights are, then you have none.
That's right. Okay, so let's continue. Secondly, So the first one is that they refuse to enforce it. Secondly, by 1537, millions of Indians had already been deprived of their lives and liberty and their property because of the papal bulls of 1493. Linda, Judea, can you continue? I think that's one of the scholars trying to get in. So someone just called me. I'm going to return this phone call. Can you do the next paragraph?
Which one here?
Judea, please.
This one here? Okay, sure.
The-
The bull's Sublimus Deus was not retroactive. It could not be projected back in time. It could only remove the death, destruction, and dehumanization that the Holy See had unleashed for more than 4 decades on the basis of Alexandrian Bull of 1493. Nor did Pope Paul II intend for all the bull Sublimus Deus to liberate the original free nations from the Spanish Catholic system of domination that had already been imposed on them based on Alexandria Papal's bull. What happened? It disappeared. Hello? People? Linda?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm like, where did everybody go?
Where is it? What happened to the article?
I don't know.
What happened to the article?
It just woof.
No, we were just dealing with an article and it just disappeared. Hold on, y'all. Dalit, I'm gonna get that link for you. Let me check my history, see if I can find that article. Ain't that it ain't in my history. Hold on. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, I'll go back to I'm not okay, here we are. Was that crazy or what, y'all?
Yeah. I was like, where did everybody go?
Dalit, I'm gonna hold on, everybody. Someone else wants to come into the classroom. Let's give them a chance to come in. So
Okay.
Dalit, I'm gonna put you on hold real quick. Dalit, let me go ahead and put are you sure you're on the right video, Dalit?
Yes, you're doing the, let's see, what is it? Second.
It's in the comment section at the top. I'm gonna put it back in. Okay, do you see it now?
You're in the Sublimus Day.
Right, that's it. That's it.
When I was trying to come in, I didn't have that link. I didn't see it in the comment section. I didn't see it.
Oh, okay, Dalit, I'm gonna hang up now. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Let's see. Let's let Dalit come in. Dang, that mosquito got me again twice. Shalom, Dalit. Unmute your microphone. I'd like to introduce you to Linda, Dalit, and Candace.
Shalom, shalom.
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 Okay, so let's continue. Judea, would you like to continue, Judea? I'm sorry, can you start? Would you mind starting from the top?
Okay. No, you down. Go down. Yeah, down.
Can I add some before you continue? Just a few comments.
Well, sure.
What I noticed about your previous video, there was something interesting that led me to do some further research on the etymology of the word Lord from your Unum Sanctum video. You was using the word, you just spelled it out, but it led me to actually do an etymology search on that word. That word actually is coming from the word load. So instead of actually saying the word Lord, you can actually say load, because a load is a burden. It's related to the Pi root, Proto-Indo-European root, Leyt, for late. So, and that means leader. So the word Lord and leader is etymologically linked to meaning the same thing, basically.
Okay, we, after the broadcast, well, in this course, we deal with the Hebrew language and the
Yeah.
etymological meaning of Lord
Right.
in Hebrew. That's why we don't pronounce it, but
Yeah.
but we appreciate that because I didn't know what you just said.
Yeah, but
So
it was interesting. Yeah. Well,
yeah, the reason why we
also, I have an old Chinese map that shows that sub-Saharan Africa was actually called India in the ancient times. So sub-Saharan Africans were considered Indians. So that word is not really attached. It has had a modern transformation, like they do with a lot of words. They'll change the meaning to throw you off. So Indian does mean, our people.
Yeah, but they're still
Okay.
referring to it, from people of India,
As I said, ma'am, I'm just trying to, they modify the meanings
right.
to draw you away from the truth of the word. Because like I said, I have an ancient Chinese map, one
Right.
of the oldest maps around, and it says that sub-Saharan Africa was called India. So being that sub-Saharan Africa would be called India, they would be Indians.
Okay, well, would you guys like for me to add something to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, the promised land, I keep this video private. I have not, Linda, you've seen the promised land video, right?
I haven't seen the Promised Land video, but we had a study about it.
No, when we did the study, you were there, right?
I was.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
talking about.
Mhm.
I've made that video private, but in that video, I'm not gonna make it public, but if maybe I'll either do the lesson again or I'll let the scholars view the video in our
Mhm.
private classroom, okay, privately. But in that video, one of the things that you will find is that the promised land spanned all continents, okay, within a certain geographic area. And the area that you described is part of the promised land that you're referring to on that old ancient Chinese map. Okay, so we would have been called at that time Moors by European because we were richly melanated, right? And by that time we were kicked out of our own land.
Mhm.
But anyway, not the whole of that area, but parts of that area, a specific area, okay, spanning across all the continents. And when I say all the continents, I'm referring to Africa and Europe being one landmass, okay?
Right.
Because it is
That's something that I see that as an error as well, because the whole, us in modern days, we attribute the name Africa to being the whole continent. That's not correct, because you had pockets of different people living in areas. They named it after their ancestors. So the whole continent, it's over 11 million square miles. It was not known as Africa. You had, on an ancient map I show, there was an area that was near Eritrea that was called Africa. There was an area near the Nigeria that was called Africa. There was also an area near Cameroon, excuse me, not Cameroon, but Mauritania that was called Africa. So you had pockets of areas that were called Africa. Then you had a portion that was called Libya. You had a portion that was called Kush, Ethiopia. So, you know, it's a misnomer for us to always try to attach that name to the whole.
But that's not, Dalit, that's not actually what I'm doing. I'm referring to the landmass itself,
Yeah.
whether you call it Al-Kiban or whatever. But the physical landmass, distinct from whatever name during whatever period of time that landmass
Right.
is called. The
Right,
physical landmass itself, okay, we can call it, let's say Al-Kiban,
Yeah.
or we can say all of those names, whatever. Let's put all of those names in a basket, okay?
Mhm.
And we'll use that entire landmass, including Europe, is one continent. There is no such thing as a European continent, not by definition.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But check it out. You can check it out.
Oh,
on your
definitely.
own.
I'm not in disagreement with what you're saying. I'm just adding to the laity who may not be aware that the whole continent was not called Africa. It never really had that one particular definition in the ancient times to mean the
Absolutely.
whole landmass.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's continue with this. Now, you know, actually, I'm having fun with this paper bull now. Before I was. Okay, so Judaiah, do you want to go ahead with this paragraph, please?
Okay, the bull Sublimus, yes, was not retroactive. It cannot be projected back in time. It could not remove the death, destruction, and dehumanization that the Holy See had unleashed for more than 4 decades on the basis of Alexandrian Bull of 1493. Nor did Pope Paul II intend for the bull Sublimus Deus to liberate the original free nations from the Spanish Catholic system of domination that had already been imposed on them based on Alexandria papal bull. The most that the Indians could hope for as a result of the bull Sublimus Deus was to be free under or beneath the Spanish crown domination.
Oh, wow. Any comments? Observations? Linda, what do you think, since this is your homeland? Okay, I guess Linda's busy. Linda's busy. So this is very interesting, isn't it? How they're trying to wipe their face clean after they've done the damage. You know what it reminds me of? They tell us we should just accept things as they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slavery happened a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like it matters if someone took your property 50 years or 100 years ago. You still want your property back, right?
And you still taking my property.
Yeah, but you telling me everything's all right, and you sitting here living large while I'm oppressed.
Exactly.
living rough.
You want me to forget something that I live every day? How crazy is that? You know,
because
you have any comments, Dalat, before we continue?
yes, basically, you could say, the act of what happened to George Floyd. It's funny how, they assume that Black Lives Matters is a terrorist organization when all we're doing is saying, hey, treat us like humans. That don't respond to their minds for some reason. And actually, the act of what they did to George Floyd was an act of actually enslavement, because you stopped somebody's free movement.
That's right.
And you pressed upon your own will upon them. So there's thousands of children in this country that gets kidnapped and enslaved still. So for us to say that slavery does not happen anymore is ridiculous.
So now remember, in the papal bulls, they're asserting that the indigenous people are not human. Where we saw that somewhere here, didn't we? Didn't we see something in
Yes, we
yeah.
did. We
in
read
the-
something. Yeah.
We read something here about them seeing us as not being human. Okay. You know? So in their eyes, we're not. So I guess that goes to your statement, which is something I think our people need to accept. These people don't see us as being human, no matter how much they say it to your face. You know, like a wise person once said, I can't, how did it go? It says something like, I can't hear anything you're saying because your actions are blinding me. Or have you ever heard some saying like that?
No, but it makes
So
total sense.
Yes, I'll
So it's
still
what a
use it.
person-
Mhm.
Yeah, it's what a person does, not what they say.
Absolutely.
So they're killing us in the street, jailing us, you know, poisoning food and water. They don't see us as being human. You know, that's hard for some people, I guess, to get their head around. But in my opinion, it's because the religion has messed their mind up, and they need to break free from the religion so that they can begin to reconnect with nature, natural law, and begin to act on their own behalf in their own best interests, right? And in the best
Absolutely.
interests of their families and
Mhm.
instead of these religions.
Yeah,
But the
because they.
That's all I have to say about that.
Mhm.
But the psychotic
Okay.
part of it all is that everything you do to us, you eventually are doing to your own people as well, which is the psychosis of it. That's
Mhm.
mind-boggling.
Mhm. See, Delilah, that's the thing. They began with themselves. And then once they all came to agreement, they couldn't do it to themselves no more. Then they turned on us and inflicted that type of, because they was killing up each other over in Europe like it was New York sport. But then once they came together and considered themselves to be, white, they said, well, no, we can't do this no more. See, but they're so aggressive, they needed a target. They have to act out that type of aggression. So it was then turned on us.
Yeah, but I'm specifically speaking about like the poisoning of you'll see a lot of the places where they do this fracking at is areas where they live at. And they're
Yeah.
getting poisoned, just like what they did with Flint, Michigan, and the lead in the pipes. So I'm saying
Yes.
they do stuff to themselves as well, which is serious psychotic. They're psychotic,
Now that's
Mhm.
profit. They don't let anything
Right.
get in the way of profit. If they have to kill you off for profit, then that's what they're going to do.
Right. Because remember, what's driving this, these are the elites,
Mm-hmm.
the king, princes, and
Mhm.
their families, the heirs.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else are just toy soldiers, pawns,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what
that are
I'm
expensive.
saying. They eventually get caught in the crossfire as well, though. So they're not even really protecting themselves either.
Because the ones who are doing
Right.
it, they don't feel that they're going to
The
live
religion
forever,
has them all.
and so they don't care.
Hmm. Okay, so
The 1%.
Delight, would you like to read the next paragraph, please? Go ahead, Linda.
No, I was just saying the 1% hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're discussing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, the elites. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Delight, would you like to read this paragraph?
Oh, I don't have my glasses right now.
You don't have your glasses, okay. Okay, you sound like me. I need my glasses when I read. Okay, so the history, let me move this down so I can see it. So here we are. The history of political reality in the 15th and later centuries reveals that the Catholic Church never intended for the bull Sublimus Deus to remove Spain's claim of sovereignty and dominion, its claim right of domination from the original free nations. Pope Paul III and the Holy See remained protective of Spain's claim to political sovereignty or domination over the original nations. In fact, Pope Alexander VI had specified in his document Inter Cetera, Papal Bull of May 4th, 1493, that the Christian Empire's system of domination was to hold the barbar nations, that is, original free nations. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something? That they're right here, I don't even think they probably knew this, but they're right here speaking about Moors and other
Mhm.
indigenous people.
Yes.
Some people will argue who these barbarous nations are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so was to hold the barbar nations in subjection and domination forever and in perpetuity. Linda, what does it sound like? In this Genesis chapter 1?
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
This is Genesis chapter 1.
Yeah.
And the centuries-long effectiveness of Pope Alexander's the sixth authorization is demonstrated by the fact that the claim of a right of domination imposed in the past continues to be imposed on our nations, the peoples, in the present by state governments, still in effect. Still in effect.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we can really see their character, can't we? They made this papal bull no intention to hold true to it whatsoever. None whatsoever. Y'all want to keep reading through this or y'all want to stop?
We got it. I think we got the gist of it.
How about we read maybe one or two more paragraphs? Because now it's getting into modern time. Do you want me to read it, Jediah, or do you want to read this next paragraph?
You go ahead and read it.
Okay. So in a recent interview, Bishop Donald Bolin from the Catholic Diocese in Saskatoon, Canada, used the word quote unquote would to communicate something hypothetical when he said, the statement Sublimus Deus issued by Paul III in 1537 nullified any previous decrees that would deny the right of indigenous people in America to their freedom and property. Okay, so according to this priest, who is also in the area of the globe where he has management and authority, he's also the vicar of Christ, right? He's speaking on behalf of the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
So we can accept what he's saying as being authentic. So what do I mean by that? This has reference to the Americas, right? This is not happening in Africa. See, indigenous peoples in America, okay, according to this priest, he's specifying the application of Sublimus Deus in the lands of the Americas, specifically to the indigenous peoples in America. That's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Moors, the House of Yasharala, whomever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's continue. I'm glad I read that paragraph. Notice the phrase that would deny in Bishop Bolin's comment. In that context, the word would is being used for unreal or imagined situations. It is also being used for unreal or hypothetical situations. In other words, Bishop Bolin is claiming that the 1537 document nullify any previous papal bull decrees that hypothetically or supposedly had the potential to deny the Indians their right to their freedom and property. Unfortunately, his use of the word quote unquote would keeps us from focusing on the fact that the papal authorization of domination in the Alexandrian bulls had been used for 40 plus years against the original nations in the most brutal and dehumanizing manner by Spanish leaders and conquerors representing the crown of Castile. So there we have it. History told on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
History told on them. Can't get out of that unless, like you said, Jediah, unless you don't know history, he could have got away with that.
Absolutely.
The craziness of this all is I just found a document that in 1841, the Supreme Court had already ruled that slavery in this country was illegal. Yet they kept going up until 1861 there. And then you turn around and have the Dred Scott decision. Those was a bunch of different justices on that one from the previous 1841 decision, which he said, the gentleman said that, we're not human, period. So the craziness of the whole thing is that they'll write one thing and they'll turn around and write something else. And yet they'll have everybody having infighting when you've already pretty much, you don't reverse what you already said, but it's like crazy. It's like you're saying two things, but you're steadily doing the evil that you claiming that you don't do.
The devil is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
The
truth ain't in them. The Indians told them they speak with forked tongue.
Bishop Bolin failed to acknowledge from 1493 to 1537, the Alexandrian papal decrees had in fact been used for more than 40 years to dominate indigenous peoples by depriving them of their freedom and their property, and by claiming the territories of all original nations as dominions held in subjection by the crown of Castile. If Bishop Bolin had acknowledged this, he would have thereby acknowledged that by the year 1537, a fact situation of domination had already been created on the basis of the Alexandrian papal decrees. He would have thereby acknowledged on behalf of the Catholic Church in Canada that the bull Inter Cetera had already been used for 40 years to deny the Indians their freedom and their property. You know what's interesting? This article, at least up until this point, is suggesting that the Inter Cetera, the Pontifex, what was it? Jediah?
Which one? What are you saying?
Something Pontifex. The other two.
What is it? Romanus?
Yeah, Romanus Pontifex. Yeah, Romanus Pontifex and Unum Sanctum. He's suggesting that these didn't continue on up into our present day. He's saying it's only 40 years, at least so far in this article, up into where we've read so far. But we know that these doctrines, these papal bulls, are active today. And we know that they were active around the founding of they were very active in the 1800s out in the open, right? Because that's where the manifest destiny comes from.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, and the scramble for Africa. So they were just expanding.
Bishop Bolin's hypothetical use, responsible for the slave trade. Bishop Bolin's hypothetical use of the word would failed to acknowledge that the bull Sublimus Deus could do nothing to change 40 years of destruction and institutionalized domination. Though that single word But through that single word, he skillfully directed attention away from the fact that by 1537, a grinding and deadly system of Christian domination was already fully in place and being invasively maintained on original nations under authorization of the papal bull.
Mhm.
The
And they
Alexandrian,
say,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Okay. The Alexandrian papal bull serves as the illustrative prototype for the claimed right of domination still used against us. Okay, so finally he goes ahead and said, why did he wait all these paragraphs down? I mean, most people won't even read this far down. You know, he should have made this point up ahead. For me, you know, for me.
Mhm.
A claim right of domination imposed on all our original free nations in the past continues to be perpetuated and maintained against our nation and peoples today by international state governments. They're actually corporations, right?
Right.
Such
Yes.
as Canada and the United States and many others. Today it's called state sovereignty and plenary power and other names. Okay.
Yep, we have an example of that with recently the assassination of the Haiti president. There was a U.S. company in I think it was Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that was involved. That's a CIA front that was partook in that.
And also, oh, go ahead, Linda.
That actually goes a lot deeper. I just don't want to talk about it on this platform. It goes a lot deeper than what you're talking about. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
Let's just say that there's specific. Let me see if I can put it this way. There's a level of infiltration that took place in Haiti. Okay, and that's
Right.
where the problem is, and the president was actually addressing that, and that's where the problem began. So that's all I'm gonna say on the matter.
Mhm.
Okay.
And this is what they're known for. They go into all of these Latin American countries and country where you have predominantly melanated people, and they plant people in there to start a thing.
Exactly.
They plant them, you know, to cause this distinction and confusion amongst the people so that they can destabilize them.
Right.
They also do that in our neighborhoods, don't they?
Yes.
They do it in our neighborhoods. You know, with the police, the aggressiveness over the police. I've even heard of cases where people came, you know, committing crimes, vandalism and violence. People got caught and turns on, they were white people wearing a mask,
Mm-hmm.
looking like a black person. You know, the mask was the face of a black person, but when they got caught, the mask off, they're white.
Mm-hmm.
By means of his ceremonial revocation of those terrible documents and others preceding them, such as Dum Diversis and Romanus Pontifex, Pope Francis will undercut the very basis of the arguments of domination now being used against us. Okay, so let's see. I think this is the last paragraph. Stephen Newcomb, who's a Shawnee and Lenape, is co-founder and co-director of the Indigenous Law Institute and author of Pagans in the Promised Land.
I have that book. Really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would love to get that. Decoding the Doctrine of Christian Discovery. Okay, Fulcrum 2008. So, okay. So he is the producer of the documentary movie, The Doctrine of Discovery. Oh yeah, I want to watch that. I'm gonna see if I can get this. Wow, that's quite a bit. Okay. So he is the producer of the documentary movie, The Doctrine of Discovery, Unmasking the Domination Code, directed and produced by Sheldon Wolfchild Dakota, with narration by Buffy St. Marie, who's Cree. The movie can be ordered from, okay, so I guess that's where you order it. Is that it? Okay, so that's it. So this turned out to be pretty fun. This was a little twister for a minute, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That
'Cause
was
we
a
have to-
brain teaser.
Yeah, because we have to work through they are silly, it's very confusing. Okay.
Yeah, but it was fun. A lot. I hope you enjoyed the short time you were here.
Oh yeah, I was actually, me and my wife was out walking, and I saw that you put up I was watching the earlier video, didn't realize that you were going to come back and do this one. I'm glad that I did notice it before you before you did complete. But yeah, this is actually, like I say, very fascinating. Like I said, you is the example as I gave about the other word, the load word, and how it, something just made me look at the etymology of that word, and it struck me that as soon as I looked at it, and I said, well, that word kind of looks like load to me, and when I did go through the etymology of researching it, and it actually does mean load. So
Do you want to walk us through it? Do you want to share your screen and walk us through it?
I don't know how to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you can tell me what to type in, and if you want, and we can go.
Yeah. Okay.
It's up to you.
Actually, the best, this is what I found, actually, Wiktionary is a better tool for etymology than Etymon Online, because Wiktionary has a bigger database, and it goes back a lot to even Hittite and Babylonian and Assyrian words for their etymology.
How do you spell it?
Wiktionary is the same as Wikipedia, but it's just WIC. What is it? WIC.
Wiktionary?
Wiktionary, yeah. WIC. WIK. TIONARY. Wiktionary.
WIK.
WIK, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. This one? Wiktionary.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you type in capital LORD. Okay, so etymology is what you want? You want to take us through it?
Yeah.
Can you see it, or do I need to
Yeah.
increase it?
Give me 1 second to get there here.
Is that big enough, or you need more?
That's big enough, yeah. Now,
Okay.
if you scroll down, actually, if you type the word type load in, actually.
Where? Here?
In the search, yep, search box, put load.
LOAD or LOD?
Yep, LOAD, yep, load.
Okay.
All right. And then you scroll down and you'll see a Proto-Indo-European root LEYT. Nope, scroll down more.
This one?
It's the proto, yeah, there you go. Okay. So that's the one that we're looking at, actually, the LEYT. Now, it did give what I had to do, because for some reason, let me see if it will actually do it, because when I try to actually look it up in the what you have to do is actually type in now back into the search engine LEYT, because you see they haven't read it out, they haven't connected the meaning. So okay, now we have load there. Now remember, that's load, and it took us to a Proto-Indo-European root of LEYT. And if you scroll down, you'll see where that meaning at the second noun, it means lead or leader.
Am I in the right place, or?
Scroll down some more to the second etymology root.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
I
you
see.
got lead.
Right.
So we see that this word load is actually means to lead or leader. Okay, which will take us back to what basically the Lord is. If you're following the kings and queens and lords, he's a leader.
Mhm.
And then you go back to looking at, okay, you're a vassal and you give your word to follow this individual. Sometimes he'll have you do things that are, unscrupulous to your values. So that can become a burden if you're
Mhm.
following somebody that you don't really agree with all the time. So here we go with what load means, burden as well. So here's somebody you can follow can be a burden to follow. So we just can see how this word, through time, they add on definitions that, wouldn't have really applied, because we have to realize that all ancient people would have always used words to, describe something that they did. So they didn't have a lot of the colorful adjectives that we add now. So, it's direct and it's going to apply to a certain meaning, and that they didn't have all these extra fancy meanings applied. So we can see how you can actually use the word load instead of the word Lord, actually.
Okay, very good. I appreciate that.
But that's a very good etymology tool. I use this one primarily, even though I have books and stuff. But this is the one that I use because it's readily available, and like I said, it's more exhaustive than etymology online is. So it's very, very useful tool. So hopefully everybody would use that one, because it is I do, like I said, I do use it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, this is my first time ever seeing it, actually. I've never tried it before.
Oh, well, you'll enjoy it. It's very exhaustive, like I said, and it gives you a lot of, like I said, it'll go into Hittite, it'll go into some Assyrian words, roots and stuff. So it's pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, excellent. Let me let me go ahead and end the live stream, guys. Give me one moment. So, okay, I want to say thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, come to our Saturday morning class at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can come in 2 free classes. You can observe 2 free classes. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to buy anything. But what you do have to do is participate. You have to participate. Also, check out our new self-study, self-paced online Hebrew course, biblical Hebrew course, Ibaryath. You can learn at home. Okay, you can learn at home. It's only $1 for 24 hours. There's 113 lessons. It is an amazing course. Don't take my word for it. Go to zionlawschool.org. Check the course out. It's called 101 Ancient Ibaryath. $1 for 24 hours access. Okay, you can take as many of the 113 lessons as you like. If you choose to keep it, it's only $10 per month. So basically it's free. And you're going to learn a tremendous amount. And it's not boring. There's no doctrine in it. There's no religion in it. It is Ibaryath language. You're going to learn a tremendous amount. I guarantee you that. You can cancel anytime. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with your friends and families if you enjoyed it. And we will see you in our next video.
I have one question. Are those 2 separate things, or are they one together? You pay the $10 and you get the Saturday class